Great, great. Do you guys know where it is? Anybody could guess. Where do you think Fiji is? Okay, well, because no one's saying anything yet, Mr. Paul, we're gonna take it away with you sharing as we are traveling to the beautiful, awesome island of Fiji. So, welcome, welcome. All right, Mr. Paul, to you.
Okay, perfect. So without further ado, I'll take it over. So today we're, as Ms. Christelle said, we're traveling to Fiji. And as usual, I'll go over the little map and the flag. So Fiji, you can see that flag. It has that sort of little British flag in the top left corner. That's because it used to be a British territory. But the design that you see there with the palm tree and all those different things, it symbolizes the agriculture of the nation. So it includes a cocoa pod, sugarcane, bananas, and a coconut palm. And it also features a dove, which is a symbol of peace. And the field of the flag, which is like the background, is light blue, and that's a symbol of the Pacific Ocean, where the islands are located. And below you can see a map. It is an island nation. And yeah, so that's just a little bit about the flag and what it looks like. You can see it's scattered into a bunch of different islands. So in Fiji, English and Fijian are both commonly spoken in the country. But since you guys already speak English, we're going to go over Fijian. So I'm going to say the English words and I'll say the Fijian translation, and then I'll have you guys repeat the Fijian translation. Sound good? All right, great. So hello is bula, if you guys want to try saying that one.
Bula.
Thank you, Ms. Christelle. Anybody else? Bula?
Bula.
Thank you, Makai. Okay. Now this one's a little bit more difficult, so we're going to take it slow, okay? So this is, if you're ever in Fiji and you want to order at a local restaurant, this is how you would say, I would like to order, and then, whatever you want, chicken, whatever it is. Ao na vin akata meu ota. So we'll do half of that first. So ao na vin akata. If you guys want to try that part. So I'll say it one more time. Ao na vin akata.
Ao na vin.
Yes, thank you so much. And then the second part is meu ota. See, meu ota.
Me ota.
Thank you. And then all together, ao na vin akata meu ota. And you could look at the words right here if you're having trouble remembering them. The pronunciation is the one in parentheses. So, ao na vin akata meu ota. Anybody want to take a crack at it?
Ana vi kata mi unata.
Okay, yes. Anybody else? All right, we'll have plenty of other words, so don't worry. So how are you is savakeve tiko. Savakeve tiko. Anybody want to try that one?
Savake tiko.
Very good. Savakeve tiko.
Savakeve tiko.
Yes, very good. And then what's your name? Osena Yakamu.
Osena Nakamu.
Osena Yakamu. Very good.
Osena Nakamu.
Yes, thank you, Alicia. Please is kere kere.
Kere kere.
Yes, heard a lot from that one. Thank you is vinaka.
Vinaka.
And then your welcome is sadanu.
Sadanu.
Very good. And then beach, there's a lot of beaches in Fiji. Baravi.
Baravi.
Thank you so much. All right, so I just included a little fact at the bottom. Other languages that are commonly spoken in Fiji include Hindi, Arabic, and Urdu. They're not the official languages, but they're commonly spoken by their Islamic and Hindu populations, which they do have a significant amount. All right, so now that we did the language and the map and the flag, we're going to go into a little bit of the culture and geography. So Fiji is composed of over 300 islands, and it's actually only 10% land. So that means that 90% of Fiji is not land. I thought that was really interesting. And culturally, there's a good mix of Indian, European, and Chinese influence. And you can kind of see that in their clothing. It looks similar to sort of like that Chinese style with the colors and all of that, but also like the Indian and European influence. So that impacts the traditional clothing and the different dances that the Fijian people have. And just some things for you guys to know before traveling to Fiji, some facts I thought that were interesting and interesting tips. So locals, you might be scared when you hear this, but they walk around with machetes, you know, like those long knives. But don't be scared. They're not using them for anything bad. That's what they use for landscaping and cutting grass. And, you know, that's just how they keep their islands pretty. Also, gift giving is very popular when you visit a village or somebody's home, or even if you just make a new friends, they like, it's very polite to exchange a small gift. It's sort of like a token of appreciation of friendship, all of that fun stuff. Similarly to the Maldives, modest clothing is recommended, and you should always take off your hat indoors. They think it's rude if you have your hat on inside. Similarly, like, I don't know if you guys experience this when you go to school, but when I go to school, I always have to take my hat off. So just something to keep in mind for when you go. And yes, while I said you should visit the beautiful beaches and resorts, you should also make sure to go into the local villages and try the amazing food that's there. Also, you should attend a lovo, which I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a Hawaiian luau. It's sort of where it takes place usually like in the early evening, and they have like some sort of like cookout with a whole bunch of food. So I compared it to sort of like an American barbecue or a Hawaiian luau. It's like a cultural ceremony with lots and lots of food. And you'll see in the picture there of the lovo that everything is served on banana leaves, which is one of the most popular crops in Fiji. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. I would love to go to one day. And then I just included some pictures of like the crystal clear water, as you can see. And even more than that, it has like all these hills, and you can see mountains in the background. So it's really very rich geographically, and its landscape is just very diverse and amazing. I also showed a couple of dishes, which you can see the left has some shrimp and like seahorse. So they're very big on seafood. And yeah, they use a lot of fruits in their cooking. You can see with like the different limes and the orange slices. So yeah, they definitely take advantage of the sea life they have, as well as their agriculture. Yeah, that was just a little snippet of what it's like in Fiji. I hope you guys enjoyed that one.
Well, when you guys have a chance, in the portal, there's a link that I placed in there where you can see and learn a little bit more about Fiji, which is really awesome. Just like how I have this beautiful background here, this is what Fiji looks like. Could you imagine swimming in this water? Right? And you can see all the fish swimming around your feet. Like you can literally look down and see the fish, and they'll be bumping into your feet like this, right? And so, like Mr. Paul mentioned, all of the beaches, so you can snorkel and all diving. You know, you could do all that stuff while you're out here and in Fiji. So we're gonna get cooking. So the first thing I want us to do is we are going to start with our bell peppers and our onions. So let's go ahead and chop our bell peppers and our onions, and we're going to cut them in a long lengthways fashion, because when we put this into our chow mein, so I'm cutting it in half this way, and then just going this way, we're going to just cut straight down. And if you notice, when we start cutting our carrots, we're actually going to cut them with the same long length. And remember, tuck your fingers back and just chop them going straight down. When you get to this part where it's a little hard, lay it flat down again. And then so you can chop we're gonna use these wonderful onions in our chow mein. Okay, who likes chow? Do you guys normally get chow mein when you go to like the Chinese food place?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so the cool thing about what you guys are making today is that you're gonna get to make it. We're making homemade chow mein. This is gonna be so good. All right, so once you're finished chopping your onions, you can move on to your bell peppers. And with your bell peppers, you're gonna cut the bell pepper in half. Clear off my onions here. Make some room. We're still gonna give them all this long length. So take your bell pepper, cut it in half, and then when you cut it in half, open it up like lay it flat like this, and then cut it long ways. Like that. So if you notice, the same length of our, when this pulls off, so they're all the same length. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing when we get to our carrots. And like, as I'm cutting here, I notice my bell peppers are kind of a little extra long, so I'm just gonna cut them in half. So just so that they still kind of have about the same length of that onion for the most part. I'm just gonna make a little corner. Those. So if you have green bell peppers, if you have any orange, not orange, sometimes they have orange bell peppers, but if you have yellow ones, like I've got a little bit of yellow, but really whatever kind of bell peppers you have is fine. And this is gonna make our chow mein look super colorful and eat with our eyes. So bell peppers, also be sure to chop your, we're also gonna chop your cabbage. We're gonna chop the cabbage and the carrots next. All right, let's do the carrots. So I've already taken off the skin.
Well, I'm a little behind since I just came, so
taken off the skin of my carrots like this. So you can take your carrot and cut it in half. So let's cut it in half. And then cut it in half again, because remember, we don't want it rolling around on our boards, right? So hold it carefully. Start your knife there at the top and then just cut it in half. And you can lay it flat like this. And then we're gonna cut it in long little strips. And I'm gonna switch over to my little knife just to give me some balance there. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll put the knife in the middle and I'll hold the thing on the edge and then pull it through. So that can help you. You can pull it like this.
sorry I'm late.
I'm glad you're here, Destiny.
Yeah, so I'm just cutting off the things that I'm gonna have to talk to you about the chow.
Yeah, so we're cutting up these vegetables for the chow mein. Yes. So and we're cutting them all the same kind of length. So the bell peppers, that's not a long one. You know, bell pepper, the onion, you know, we want them to be the same length. Okay. And I'm gonna make another little pocket here, put my carrots, and after we do this one, we'll start cutting the cabbage. So be careful as you're cutting your carrot strips here. Oh, so in Fiji, what makes this barbecue like really awesome is the way that they barbecue. The barbecue itself is going to taste great, but the style, the way that they barbecue is fantastic. They are, you know, tapping on the flipping the chicken, well, not the chicken, but the sausages. They're flipping and catching in the containers, and it's like a show. Have anybody been to like Benihana? And have you guys seen the show like that when they're cooking your food?
I haven't.
Wait, which one, Miss?
Like I know they do it at Benihana's.
I thought you were talking about a movie about in Netflix that's called Ohana or Ohana, whatever it was. I forgot what it's called though.
Okay, so that's a close name to it. Well, the thing is, at a restaurant called Benihana, they normally it's like a show. So they're cooking your food, but it's a show presentation where they're cooking your rice, they're cooking your noodles, but it's a show. Like I remember when they took the onion and they cut it in such a way where the onion was like a choo-choo train, because they put some water in the middle and they stacked it on top, and then he pushed it along. He was like choo-choo, and the onion was giving out like steam, and it was really awesome. So I'll Mr. Paul, I'll send you the video where we could share it whenever we have our little pockets of time, and you can show it as a so everybody can see. It's actually really, really awesome. All right, so we're on our cabbage. We're gonna still cut it that same length. I'm actually, because I'm looking like at my carrots, or even like my bell peppers, I'm actually gonna cut this in half this way. So I cut it in half this way. Cut in half already from this way. Now I'm just gonna make a slit down the middle. Then I'm just gonna cut going this way. We want it to be like, you kind of want to make these not too thin, like shredded, not like coleslaw. You want it to be just a little bit thicker than.
Hey, excuse me. Can you stop the live stream on YouTube? I was going to tell you guys something, and it's more private.
Oh, it's more private.
Yes.
Sure.